Warning, this podcast is recorded by professionals or under the supervision of professionals, so the producers must insist that no one attempts to recreate any of the dialogue heard here. Let's be honest, I'm the only professional here and I get, 20 seconds of airtime? It's all downhill from here, kids.
Welcome to FairlyOddCast. I'm Adam Watts.
And I'm Mark Gangnam Style LaValley.
You know what? I haven't listened to that yet.
Really?
I've had links sent to me. It's like, you gotta watch this. It's like, nope, I refuse to.
It's got a couple humorous points, but it's really... I don't understand why it's the most watched video on YouTube at all.
Well, I guess he's done other really popular stuff before, so he was under a lot of pressure to create this.
Still never heard of him.
Me neither.
Until
this.
Yeah, exactly. But I'd love to hear what it's like, what the lyrics are in English.
It'd probably be like listening to Du Hast. It's much better when you don't understand what the words are.
You know, that's probably true, because, Du Hast with English lyrics is stupid.
Yeah. But as Du Hast, it's awesome.
Yeah, that's true.
Let's see. What do we normally do? We normally tell a few stories about ourselves to let the listeners acquaint themselves to us.
That's exactly how it goes.
But because of how we're going to do the next couple of shows, we're going to change it slightly.
Slightly.
We still have our top 5 lists.
Yes.
So you're going to do your top 5 list and your story.
Yep.
And then I'm going to do my top 5 list and my story, because my story leads into the next
episode or two.
Next episode 2 for stories. So let's kick it off right away with your top 5 list, sir, which I don't even know what it is yet.
No, and I wasn't feeling very creative this week because it was long and tiring. So I'm still in the music category. But instead of top 5 albums that I can listen to over and over again, I went with my top 5 Canadian artists.
Okay.
And first and foremost, one of my favorite bands, period, of course. And this is the only band from the last list that makes this list, and that would be the Tragically Hip. I don't need to explain myself. I just love them. They're
fantastic. I'd go see them when they come again if they only played Wheat Kings.
Yeah.
If I could get an hour and a half of Wheat Kings, I'd be okay.
I would like to go and see from fully, completely backwards.
Kind of like if I went to see Metallica, I'd only want to see pre-Black Album.
Exactly.
Maybe even some Black Album.
Justice and earlier.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I like the newer stuff, but I really love the older stuff. So, second, a band that we'll be going to see this Friday, and those who listen that are in Halifax and are fans, Big Sugar is here on Friday.
Yeah, don't tell too many people. Don't be pushing this, because we can't buy tickets until Friday morning.
That's true.
And it's at Olympic Hall, so it's little.
That's true. If I don't get to go, I'll be angry.
I'm going to buy our tickets online Friday morning.
There you go.
So,
they're fantastic. I mean, Gord, he's just amazing to watch play guitar live. It's a fantastic sight. Third, and it took me a long time to like this band. I hated their first 2 albums.
Ooh, I can't even think of who it is.
No?
No.
Our Lady Peace.
You did hate their first 2 albums.
I did. I hated Starseed and Navid and all that stuff. But I've grown to appreciate, and that's now my favorite album of theirs. That first, kind of big one for them. So, but I hear he's a real dick.
When we used to go see him play live, was at the beginning phase when he didn't do anything on stage.
Yep.
He just stood there.
Yeah,
and that used to piss me off.
Yep.
Because I didn't think they were big enough yet for him to just get away without putting on a show.
No.
Neil Young, Bob Dylan, they can stand there and just play.
True.
Our Lady Peace, you better fucking do something.
Yeah, well, I mean, let's not forget, the first time I ever saw them, they were far outshadowed by their opening band.
First time I saw... Well, that was the first time you saw them when we went to see them with Everclear?
Yeah.
First time I saw them, they were playing in Halifax Shopping Center.
Wow.
Yep.
That's impressive.
Yep. It was just pre-Navid album, whatever that was called.
I don't even know. I don't even know there is one before Navid.
But, yeah, I went and saw them at Halifax Shopping Center because I enjoyed them then. So
wow, gross.
I saw Big Picture the same day.
Oh, yeah, right. Big Picture. I had to think about that for a second. Next, strolling into the hip-hop world a little bit, Swollen Members, and by association, Mad Child's new solo career. They're the kind of hip-hop that I like.
Like a rock hip-hop almost?
Yeah.
Rock-ish hip-hop?
Anti-50 Cent hip-hop.
Okay.
Or The Game, or, those guys. I
the gangsta rap?
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know if it's fair to call them gangsta rap. I don't know what you'd call them, though. But,
Poser rap?
Yeah, maybe. And this one's going to surprise you a little bit. It's a little bit of local flair.
If you see Sarah McLachlan, I'm going to come across this table. I'm going to stab you in the throat with my fucking
no,
pen.
she's definitely not in my top 5 favorites. I appreciate some of her work, but no.
She has one song that I really enjoy.
What's that?
I think it's like Every Ordinary Miracles. I think it's from the Charlotte's Web soundtrack. And she sang it at the Olympic opening ceremony, too.
You got me.
Yeah. I can't remember the name of the song, but I really like it.
Signal Hill.
You hate Signal Hill.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
You're right. I do hate Signal Hill. They fucking blow donkey chunks.
There's no way you're going to ever pass that off as me believing that.
I know. I didn't think it would work, but I thought you might get a good laugh out of it.
I fucking hate them, too.
Now, the real fifth is a band that I haven't heard of in years. I don't think they're still around, is The Pursuit of Happiness. They had some fantastic tunes back in the 90s.
I think they're around doing something, but not as The Pursuit of Happiness.
Yeah, it's true. It's just like, they were like one of those Northern Pikes kind of style bands.
Yeah.
That were popular Canadian music-wise in the 90s. They were good.
Like UB40?
Yeah. Yeah. And I do have a couple of honorable mentions. Classified, another homegrown hero. The Guess Who, because they kind of got to go back in time a little bit. I mean, we've got some pretty iconic Canadian bands. I still hate Rush because Geddy Lee's voice really pisses me off. I know everybody's Neil Peart's a god, but fuck Geddy Lee. And that's it for the top 5. Simple.
I thought you almost said Simple Plan there.
Oh, God, no. Can't wait for... I could probably throw a ton of honorable mentions more on there, but I don't want to. But it's a simple top 5. Can't wait for Big Sugar this week. And there we go.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome. I can't wait.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Yeah, because we didn't go... Well, it's been a long time
Has it even
since
been
a Big Sugar.
Well, yeah, that too, but I don't even think we've seen them since the 90s. I don't think we saw them in the 2000s.
No, I don't think so.
Because were you there the night that we did both?
Tragically
Big
Hip?
Sugar and the Hip?
That was the first time we saw Big Sugar. That was at Birdland.
It was the second time.
It was Birdland. It was the first time.
I thought McGuinness Room was the first time.
Nope.
For me, anyway.
No, I'm pretty sure Birdland was because it was both our first time. Because it was right when they were doing Hemivision.
Which was fantastic.
So I don't think we had heard of them before Hemivision.
Not true. I had heard some stuff off
I'd
500 Pounds.
I'd heard like Dear Mr. Fantasy and stuff like that.
Ride Like Hell. Was a fantastic song that I had heard of before.
But I'm pretty sure that was both of our first times seeing him was at Birdland, and we missed half the show because someone wanted to go home instead of going to both concerts.
Yep.
Jeff, you douchebag.
To be fair, he looked pretty green that night.
I don't care.
Yeah.
You could have taken a fucking bus. That was back when a cab would have only been $20 to get home.
That's possible. Can you imagine? $20 to get home from
cabs are more expensive. I took a cab home from the grocery store the other day.
Yeah.
It starts at like $3.26. Like it doesn't go on even numbers anymore, and it jumps up instead of it used to jump up by 10 cents every whatever
eighth of a mile or something like that. Yeah.
Now it jumps up by 13 cents.
Ugh. Fantastic.
So it cost me like 30 more cents to get home from the grocery store.
So how much is a trip from the grocery store? You go to Sobeys, right?
Yep. Like $7. It's 6 something, and then I just
so like 2 kilometers.
Yeah. So it's like 6 something. I give them a 10 and just tell them to give me a toonie.
Oh yeah. All right.
Much better than walking home with my groceries.
It's true. Or taking the bus with your groceries.
Oh, God.
And then having to walk some more.
No, because usually my grocery load's too big to carry on the bus.
Mm-hmm.
So
Next, I have a quick story. And I'm going into the Wayback Machine for this. This is well before I even knew. It was years before I even knew you existed.
Oh, I thought we were keeping the stories to when you and I were friends.
It's true, but I thought of this one, and I kind of wanted to continue the theme of my accident proneness.
Okay.
Because, as I've said before, it seems I enjoy getting hurt. This is one of the times I didn't enjoy getting hurt. When I first moved to Bedford, in Paper Mill Village, we played a lot of street hockey.
Oh.
A buttload of street hockey.
Were your guys' games violent?
They weren't too bad. Because we had a couple of fathers that played with us as well.
Oh, okay, so.
Right? So it was...
Your guys' was almost parent supervised.
Almost, yeah.
See, I grew up in Fall River, and we used to have these monster hockey games and baseball games.
We never played baseball. It was always hockey or soccer baseball.
We didn't play soccer.
We played a ton of soccer.
We played
baseball.
Legit baseball because we had that. You know, when you're coming up the big hill in Fall River Village, there's the baseball field right there.
Exactly.
The park.
We didn't have that in Paper Mill.
So I mean, you'd have a lot of the bottom of the village versus the top of the village. That's pretty much how teams were split. And
were you a bot? You were a bottom.
Yeah. I started off as a top when I was younger,
right.
but moved to a bottom because of my laziness.
Power bottom or?
No, sometimes I used to think I like to top from the bottom.
Excellent.
But they were violent. There was fights every game.
Yeah,
baseball was more violent than the hockey.
Interesting.
Like, I remember one incident where I was playing first base. Dude gets onto first and is obviously out.
Yep.
But it's a big argument, and finally, I just go with, listen, you can have it, but you're not getting second. Next batter's up, hits it. Dude runs from first to second, and out goes my foot.
Yeah.
Trip him. He gets up.
Fight away.
Fight away. He puts fists up. I don't even wait to put the fist up. I just swing, and then, of course, everyone's into it.
Yeah, of course.
Remember one guy standing on third, and a guy on our team says, watch this, and he runs from second, and he doesn't even slow down, just picks him up off of third base right into the chain link fence and starts swinging.
Nice.
It sounds like we're in the fucking Wanderers, for God's sake.
I was just going to say, I mean, I could understand different towns or different subdivisions acting that way, but you guys were
we all hung out
in the same subdivision.
But there was never any bad blood after the game.
That's funny.
Like, it was all just part of the sport.
So, yeah, back to our buttloads of hockey. Matt Young could attest to it, actually. He played a lot with us after we met. So I'm talking, like, I was in grade 5 or 6. Like, this is how long
I was going to say, it must be that long ago that Matt Young was active.
And so, anyway, this one guy's father, nice one, I think it was his brother that was in town or something. Anyway, we were all playing, so there was 2 adults playing, and I was in one of my rare out of the nets days because I loved playing nets. That was my favorite.
Well, we both did, even when we played street hockey when we were older.
Exactly. So rare out occasion, and this guy's brother. So he's, I don't know, 30s, 40s. I don't know. I mean, I don't remember the guy that well. I just remember the injury. So he had a stick that was kind of ratty. The blade, I mean.
Oh, I know where this is going already.
Like, the tape was split, and the stick was just ugly. Anyway, we were fighting near the curb, and the stick went up the back of my leg, the blade, and hit my knee. I'm doing motions with my hands now that none of you can see.
It is an audio format, my friend.
But I can't help it. So when he pulled the stick away, he left a large chunk of it in the back of my knee.
Oh.
About as big around as a pencil.
Oh.
And a good 3 to 4 inches long. And there was a good 1.5 inches sticking out of my leg.
See, for us, that would have been an all-out brawl.
Yeah.
Even though it was accidental?
No, that was me. I have to go home now and get this log out of my leg. So I did. I limped home. And it must have been a weekend because my stepfather was home. And it was his task to try and pull it out.
To try and pull it out?
Yep. He gave a tug on it, and it, just a testing tug to see what it was like. And it wasn't going anywhere, and it hurt like hell.
I bet.
So that was, Mom's like, Cobaquid. And this is when Cobaquid was old.
Oh, and
Like the old.
like even on a good day, you're talking
3
12-hour
hours.
wait times.
Exactly, 4, 5, 6 hours. So we get to Cobaquid. We do our standard, probably a couple hours of waiting. Get put on a bed on my stomach. Doctor comes in. No word of warning. Yoink! Just rips it right out.
Oh, everyone's going to hate that yoink sound when
I
they
know.
listen to it.
It's going to spike.
Pop right in their ears.
Blech. Jackass leaves a chunk in my leg. Mom was pissed. I found this out years later. She was so pissed that he just walked in and yanked it. No word of warning, no gentleness. Like, here's a 10-year-old with a pencil sticking out of his leg. And anyway, so of course, what's next? Oh, well, we're going to have to go in there with some tweezers.
Oh.
So he did freeze it this time.
Well, that was mighty kind of him.
It was mighty kind of him. I mean, the freezing hurt like hell, of course, as well. But then I can feel him rooting around in the back of my knee with tweezers. Oh, geez, I can't quite get it. He goes and disappears and comes back with some kind of weird bent forceps-looking scissor thing. Jams that down the hole in my knee. Finally gets the sliver out. And I tell you, I limped for a long time after that one. But yeah, that's... I think that may be why over the years I've developed a good pain tolerance.
You do have a fairly good pain tolerance.
I do. And it's stupid things like that I think bring it on.
You'd be good for childbirthing.
Yeah, maybe. I've had some poops that hurt a lot, though. So I don't know if...
Oh, I'd like
You
to
know, after-
apologize to all our female listeners who Mark just insinuated giving birth is like him taking a giant
Well,
shit.
After like a day of eating cheese, it binds you up a little bit.
Please address all angry emails to @FairlyOddCast, care of Mark LaValle. As God is my witness, I thought turkeys could fly.
So that's my story. It's just another example of me getting hurt.
It just reminds me of when my brother got the bulrush stuck in his nose.
I mean, you don't even need a story with that. You just say
We're not going to tell the story. We're
bulrush stuck in the nose.
We're just leaving it as bulrush stuck in a nose.
Wow.
And everyone can come to their own conclusions.
That's incredible.
Well, funny enough, my top 5 list is also music oriented.
Oh, strange.
But
I promised to be more creative next week, by the way.
you even knew what my
and
top
get
5
away
was
from
going to
these-
be.
I thought yours was zombie movies or something.
Originally, it was going to be horror comedies, but then I told you I switched it because it leads into the story, which leads into our next 2 episodes.
I don't remember that.
Oh, you should pay the fuck attention then.
Maybe.
All right, so I went with top 5 concerts I've attended.
All right.
So it's not quite the same thing,
Oh, not at all.
but I'm going to list them off in chronological order
Ooh.
of when I saw them.
All right. So not favorites.
Not favorites, because I can't come up with favorites. Well, actually, with this list, I can come up with favorites. This is the one list where I could easily have done the actual top 5.
Number 5's gotcha.
But we're going to go in chronological order. Starting with the first concert I ever went to. Beach Boys.
Awesome.
First Parley Beach concert that they ever did was the Beach Boys, and I was there.
Now, how old were you?
I
Like, is this the thing you went to with your parents?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I went to with my parents because I was in grade 5 or
Nice.
grade 6. And I remember it was pouring ass rain.
Nice.
They played for maybe 45 minutes to an hour. This is in the big Kokomo craze of their resurgence. Wasn't he? No Brian Wilson.
Yeah.
Not even John Stamos
Not even John Stamos.
who does tour with them now playing drums.
Mm-hmm.
No John Stamos. They sold, I think the Beach Boys were getting paid. Well, we'll say they were getting paid to play in front of 30,000.
Okay.
Well, we'll say they sold 50,000 tickets instead.
All right.
So the band is coming out angry because they weren't supposed to sell that many tickets because they're not getting paid for that many people.
I see.
So you've got an angry, pissed off band.
You'd almost think they'd have a flat fee. Like, we're not showing up for less than this no matter what. But anyway, continue.
But so they're angry. It's raining. They came out. They played. They left.
Did anybody open?
Not that I can remember.
All right. I would like to throw out my first concert ever was Kool and the Gang
Wow.
at the Metro Center.
That's horrible.
Yeah, it is.
My second concert actually made my honorable mentions list, which
Oh, yeah?
is a pretty good one, too. And I think you were at the concert
Okay.
because we've talked about it before, I'm pretty sure. Just
I think I know who you're talking about.
All right. Next on the list, this is the first concert I ever cried at.
Oh, all right.
Neil Young, the first time I saw him.
Okay. That would have been high school?
No, it
Or
was
slightly
after high school.
Yeah.
Front row center.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Beautiful spot to be.
Yep.
I just cried because it was, like we said, like favorite bands. He made my favorite bands list.
Yep.
He's one of my musical idols.
Heroes, yep.
So, and one of the best things about that concert was there was 2 opening bands. There was Moist, and was the first opener, and then the second opener was a band from the States called Pete Droge and the Sinners. They were like a bluegrass band. So
I'm
Moist,
not aware of that incarnation, but I do know Pete Droge. Yeah. I don't know from what.
but no, Pete Droge, they were good. But Moist was the first of 3 bands.
Yeah.
So when they come out, the lights are all still up at the Metro Center. There is nobody there but us, sitting front row center. And I think Jeff was with me, because Andy was sitting right behind us.
Right.
But I don't know if he was there yet or not. And we were big Moist fans at that time.
That's another band that I hated at the beginning, but have grown to appreciate over the years.
You had his crotch in your face at the McGinnis Room.
He stepped on my head, actually.
I thought it was his crotch in your face.
No, it was his giant friggin' boot. His 90s style combat boot.
But, so no one's there for Moist playing, but Jeff and I are into them because we enjoy the band.
Yep.
So, maybe a couple of songs in, they're like, fuck it. And they just look down at us and play and sing
To you.
directly to us. They don't even bother looking up.
That's cute.
It is cute. But it was fun and cool. I mean, it's a band you like.
Yep.
They played Billie Jean, which we talked about before, being one of the best covers.
Like on my list, Dear Prudence from Our Lady Peace.
So that was an awesome experience. Then, of course, Neil Young and Crazy Horse come out.
There you go.
Awesome.
Yep.
Just amazing. And I've seen them a few times since, and they were probably better shows. But this was the first time.
First one, yeah.
So it wins. Next one's another legend, Bob Dylan.
Yeah, I knew that one would make
Another
it. If I had remembered what your list was, I would have picked those 2 for sure.
Yeah. That was another one of my front row center experiences. Back when you used to be able to camp for concert tickets.
Are you not allowed to do that anymore?
Well, it's on the internet now, so camping
yeah.
for tickets means shit.
It means nothing.
Like, I mean,
Except for nostalgia's sake.
Yeah. I mean, if you wanted front row center tickets back when these concerts were on, you had to camp because you could only get them at the Metro Center or at some like Sobeys or Superstores.
Sobeys back then.
So, I mean, there used to be lineups around the building by the time tickets went on sale in the morning. I mean,
You spent a few nights waiting for concerts.
Dylan was the middle of fucking winter, and I thought I was going to die. It was so cold. Neil Young was another. That was 3 days outside. Because I wanted front row center.
Yeah.
They used to have a rule at the Metro Center. You couldn't line up 24 hours.
Yep. I remember that.
Beauty of these being in the winter was, we're there 3 days before tickets go on sale, and security goes, you're not allowed to line up. It's like, dude, we're buying Moosehead's tickets in the morning. Fuck off.
Yep.
We weren't, but
Yeah.
they never made us buy the tickets, but we always had extra cash on us.
Just in case.
Plus, tickets weren't $80 back then
What, you mean for bands or for...
for concerts.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you're talking like $30, $40 tickets. Fuck, we're old.
Yeah. Yeah, we are.
But
Hey, Big Sugar's only $30.
I know.
round thereabouts.
But we used to make, I think every time we got to the front of the line for like Neil Young, Bob Dylan, I think there was a couple, Our Lady Peace and Everclear, that one we were front row center for.
Yep.
We used to have people come up and pay us to buy their tickets for them.
Nice.
So I'd get like however many tickets I needed, I'd say, and I say, plus I need 4 more.
On the floor somewhere.
4 wherever the best you can get is.
Yeah.
Take care of mine first, and then these other people's. And, you know, if the ticket was 30, they'd usually offer you 50 to get it. So that's
fair.
$20 extra.
Yep.
You get 4 tickets. That's $80. There's my tickets paid for.
Exactly.
So all those concerts I was front row center for all ended up being free.
Yep.
I think the Bob Dylan ones.
Because you were essentially a scalper.
Essentially, yes. Yes, I was a dirty, dirty scalper. All right. Next one. That was 3. Now we're going to jump way ahead. Because after that, it's mostly small gigs and stuff like that. No really big concerts.
Bars. McGinnis Room. Cafe
Au Lait even. I saw Rusty at Cafe Au Lait because I was only 18, so I couldn't go see the bar show.
Good show?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was to see a good band at Cafe Au Lait. That's great. The place is tiny.
Yeah,
it's like the size of my living room.
Yep.
We're going to jump.
Yeah, that's probably pretty accurate.
Yeah, you're looking around going, motherfucker, you're right. We're going to jump up to every time I've seen Alice Cooper. I can't pick one Alice Cooper show
fair.
Because it's so different every time. Like the first time I saw him, he cut his head off.
Yep.
Second time, he hung himself.
Yep.
Like, it's just such a different show, but it's always such a great show every time.
Well, the man does know how to put on a show.
Oh, he's the best at putting on a show.
Absolutely.
And then the most recent best concert, Kiss.
Yeah.
And it's not because Kiss is a great band. I just love Kiss. They're a fun band. They're a fun brand.
Speaking of bands like that, and I think Crew's coming back.
Are they?
Yeah.
I go see Crew again. Crew's in my honorable mention.
I would like to go see
them. That was a
them.
great show.
If it's true, 'cause I think Rachel mentioned it to me, and if it's true, I'll go.
I'd
like to see Crew before Mick Mars dies.
I don't want to talk. He's in so much pain, that guy.
Yeah.
I wanted to go see what they were billing as the tour, which was Kiss and Motley Crue last year.
Yeah, that would have been good. That would have been expensive.
It wasn't too bad.
No?
No, they're not too bad.
All right.
I mean, Kiss was only $80 for an outdoor all-day concert.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not too bad. I think for a band that's so much about the money, they keep the ticket prices. I mean, they realize that they need to keep stuff semi-reasonable. It's like Pearl Jam does.
That's why they sell so much extra crap.
To make up for the concert stuff,
To make up for the tickets.
All right, let's hit the honorable mentions. Already said Motley Crue. That was just, again, they had no opening act. Their opener was a cartoon of them trying to save the world.
Nice.
And it was from a movie, like an independent movie, but it was all their voices and stuff.
Oh, nice.
But it was just showing the parts they were in, and it was pretty fucking funny.
The strangest thing I remember from Mom, like my mother and stepfather going to concerts when I was of babysitting age, was lots of comedians opened.
That used to be the thing back in the day.
Like Tina Turner, comedian opened.
You know who kind of stopped that? Was Madonna.
Oh, yeah?
And you know who she had opening for her?
No.
The Beastie Boys.
That would have been cool.
She kind of gave them their start. Of course, they got booed off the fucking stage, but...
Well, so they didn't Guns N' Roses, when they were opening for one of their first starts, they got booed off the stage, and they were opening for somebody big, maybe like Jovi or something. I can't remember. There's a story. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
There's lots of stories like that.
Yeah.
Next on the honorable mentions is the one that we were probably at the same concert was Rod Stewart.
Rod Stewart, I knew it.
Kicking soccer balls into the upper bowl.
Yep. I actually saw him both times he came here, the indoor and the outdoor.
I just saw the indoor. I didn't. I'm one of those people that usually once I've seen them, unless there's a lot of new material I want to hear, I don't want to go see it again. I don't want to go see the same show again.
True. Both times I was at an age where I could have went by myself, but I went with Mom because she's a huge Rod Stewart fan.
You sure at the first one you were? Oh yeah, because I was going into. Oh no, I was in. I think I had just. I was. It was the year I was going into junior high, so you would have been 3 years older. So.
But yeah, no, that was a. And I've always said every time we talk about these concerts at the night, because it was a 2-night show.
Yep, he did 2 nights.
The night that I was there, he miskicked. A ball went straight up and hit all the monitors that were floating above the stage, and everybody just kind of stopped and watched them swing for a while.
That's right. We were there different nights because we know that because that didn't happen the night I was there.
Yeah. But that's a good honorable mention. I mean, Rod Stewart's a classic.
Yeah. Did he, when they were doing the saxophone solo, did he put the microphone right down inside the saxophone and almost make all the speakers blow out? That was crazy.
Yeah.
One more honorable mention. Well, I have 2 more, but the last one leads into the story.
All right.
Guns N' Roses.
Cool.
Even though it's not the real Guns N' Roses,
Mm-hmm.
it's just the Axl Rose show.
Mm-hmm.
But I've said it before, and I'll say it every time. Now that the songs are written,
Okay.
this version of Guns N' Roses is better musically than the real Guns N' Roses. Because the only talent that makes Guns N' Roses, the old one, is Slash and Axl.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of them are not.
Well, I mean, they had 2 or 3 different drummers. Well, no, 2.
2.
And
And Steven Adler wasn't a good drummer.
not really.
Just now that the songs are written, this is a better musical Guns N' Roses.
Well, I would imagine the guys that are the band now are probably career studio musicians.
No,
or something.
they're all from different bands, a lot of them.
Yeah. I mean, I don't pay attention much. Because once I heard, that there was a guy in a Slash mask,
That
I lost interest.
Yeah, I didn't go see them when they were like that.
Yeah.
I didn't see the Buckethead guy.
Yeah.
But they, when they were doing their guitar solos, just, every band does their little solos so the rest of the bands can go take a break.
Yeah.
The 2 of them played Beautiful by Christina Aguilera just on the guitar. No singing. Just played it on guitar. Fucking phenomenal.
Interesting.
Unbelievable.
I like it. I love when bands do that kind of stuff.
It was like that band on YouTube, Boyce Avenue. They take all the pop songs and do the acoustic arrangements of them.
Yep. Some of those arrangements, though, are really boring and they're not much different, but there's some of them that are just spot on awesome.
When they take an already slow acoustic song, like I know they do one of The Calling, that Wherever You Go.
They barely change it.
They barely change it. But now I see there's one up there for that One Direction. Don't You Know You're Beautiful?
Oh, really? I haven't seen
And
that
if you had heard that version before you knew it was like a British boy band version, you'd think it was a phenomenal song.
Mm-hmm.
But I like the catchy boy band version too. So, but I got kids, so I got to hear that shit all the time. It eventually grows on you.
It's true.
The Bieber stuff hasn't grown on me ever because it's not allowed to be played in the house.
That kid is a jackass.
Yeah. And all right, so last honorable mention that leads into the story was Somersault, 1998.
Yeah, I figured.
Not
I could have picked 3 of your concerts.
Yeah. Not Somersault 2000, which you would think because, I left partway through that one because I didn't want to see Our Lady Peace again.
I was going to say, you saw who you wanted.
I saw who I wanted, which wasn't the top 2 bands playing because I left after Foo Fighters because I left before Our Lady Peace or Smashing Pumpkins came out.
Ugh.
So I got to see Trouble Charger and Foo Fighters and Jesus. Whoever else I wanted. Perfect Circle.
I was going to say it was Perfect Circle.
Perfect Circle
was there
for that one, yeah. But this one was the first one in 98. So it was Trouble Charger, Joy Drop, BTK,
Joy Drop.
I Mother Earth, not with Edwin, but Sloan, Moist, and OLP.
They both sucked without each other.
Do you remember BTK?
Oh, yeah.
Peppy Rock?
Yeah. Love Peppy Rock.
Saw them live there. I think Bucket Truck played there.
Through knowledge, yo.
Oh, Sloan was there, but that's when we went to the beer tent.
Okay.
Because I hate Sloan.
I couldn't I didn't go to that, and I definitely would have left at Smashing Pumpkins.
Oh, I left before them.
I hate them more than I hate Nirvana, I think.
Yeah, you do.
Billy Corgan's a douche.
Yeah. So that leads into the epic adventure of that weekend, really. You're not there for this one.
Nope.
Which is a little sad.
Nope.
But let's see who went. It was me.
Yep.
Jeff.
Yep.
Cletus.
Yep.
Courtney and Megan.
Is that it?
That's all it started off as. We met more people there.
Yeah, okay.
Not that we weren't planning to go with these other people. We just met up a lot of people that we knew at the concert.
Okay.
But that was all that was originally slated to go with us. We drive up in Jeff's little red Civic. 5 of us. Brand new car. I mean, brand new enough that he had to go get it registered so we could leave the province.
Did you know within the first couple of days of him having it, I almost wrote it off?
He damaged it up there.
Did he really? Oh, I remember that.
He was parking and he hit a guide wire
for a telephone
and
pole.
split the bumper. So I mean, it was just. I mean, we're 5 adults because 98 we're still 19, 20 fucking year. How old am I now? 35.
Yep.
So that's 98, 2000.
That's 14
years ago. So I'm 21. I'm not good with math.
Apparently.
Not this time of night. And yet I'm a
this time of night, it's 9 o'clock.
I'm a data analyst and I'm shitty with math. So the 5 of us go up. And it was the first time, I think, the Copiquid Pass had just opened recently. So it was a much quicker trip than usual.
Did it open that long ago?
Yeah, because it was my first time going through the tolls.
Oh, okay.
Because we stopped right after.
I still haven't.
You've never been through the tolls? No. Have you not left the province by car? Or just taken the long way?
I guess I've taken the long way.
Let's see. We're all in a nice little hotel room.
Okay.
We didn't stay at any of our classic haunts like the Hotel de Moncton.
No Hotel Moncton.
Which you'll hear about next week.
Yep.
Or Crystal Palace like you'll hear about in 2 weeks.
Yep.
Just some random. I paid for the room because I don't know. Maybe we were all broke. But I paid for it, and I slept on a fucking cot.
You sure you weren't confusing stories?
No, I'm positive because
this happened at that place as well.
Well, no, Hotel de Moncton. I'm not on a cot.
No, but you were at Crystal Palace, and you had to sleep right next to the air conditioner. I forced you to keep on.
No, I was at the foot of a bed in a cot this time.
Oh, okay.
Because Craig or Cletus and Jeff were in one bed, and Courtney and Megan were in the other bed.
Oh, that's sweet.
But it was a shitty hotel, so they were the small double beds.
Uh-huh.
So the cot was actually way fucking better.
Yeah, probably.
Way better. So, concert's taking place in September. September long weekend.
Right. Like Labor Day long weekend?
Yeah, Labor Day long. It was actually like 2 days after like the Swiss Air crash. That just brings the story to a screeching halt. But anyways, so back then September was warm during the day.
Yep.
Fucking freezing at night.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's kind of still warm at night in September.
It certainly can be.
But this being 14 years ago, global warming hadn't quite been in full effect yet.
It was just a glint in El Nino's eye.
That's right. So, I mean, it was just freezing at night and warm during the day. It had rained and still raining that day. So it's warm and wet and humid.
Mm. Oh, my favorite.
And
fat guys love humidity.
Yeah. We're at, well, I mean, they call it the Parley Beach concert, but it was at a racetrack, like an oval racetrack. So we're in the infield, and it's just fucking mud.
Bet you the racetrack owner loved that.
Oh, that track got... I have more stories to come about that poor track. So there's just mud everywhere. But 98, this isn't too far after the Woodstock revival. The anniversary shows at Woodstock.
Nope.
So what do we go do? Sliding and playing in the mud.
Mudsliding.
Because that's what you do when there's mud at an outdoor concert.
Mm-hmm.
Jeff goes sliding through the mud, and some big dude jumps up and lands on Jeff's chest.
Nice. Are we talking like big like me?
I don't know if he was as big as you, but he was bigger than Jeff.
All right.
But back then,
Jeff was pretty thin and small back then.
Yeah, so it could have been anybody. Could have been a 12-year-old girl really outweighed him. But so his glasses go flying into the
Nice.
mud.
Oh, good.
He's now blind.
Mm-hmm.
I was smart enough that I gave mine to Cletus before going in. But by the time I get back to Cletus and he hands them to me, one of the lenses has fallen out.
Yeah.
So at this point, what's the point of having one lens? So I throw them into the crowd.
Nice.
So we're just soaked, covered with mud. We decide to drag Courtney and Megan into the mud. So they're having fun in the mud. Everyone's having fun in the mud.
Even Cletus?
No, Cletus is not in the mud. He was, it turns
He
out,
was scared of getting the hollow part of his chest filled in
the
with mud.
pectus erectus.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, it's going to turn out that he was the smart one.
Ah,
So we're now enjoying the concert. I mean, we're seeing BTK for the first time.
Yep.
Joy Drop for the first time, who I ended up fucking loving. And if
Love
you don't
Joy
know
Drop.
who Joy Drop is, you probably know the lead singer. What's her name? Tara Sloan?
yep.
She went on, had a solo career. She was on Rockstar Supernova in the
Yep.
States.
Did not too bad.
No, she went pretty far in it.
Yeah,
Canadians always did well on that show for some
that's
reason.
true.
Never went anywhere with it, but
Well, we had 2 winners out of what, 3 or 4 seasons?
2 seasons, both won by Canadians.
Is that it? There was
Yeah.
only 2 seasons of that show? In Excess and
Supernova.
the super band.
Only
With
reality show.
Gilby Clark.
Jason Newsted and Tommy Lee.
Yeah.
It's the only reality show where I called the winner correctly the first time I saw it. Both
I called
seasons.
Lucas, but I had no idea about the NXS one.
Well, I missed the first night of the show where JD Fortune, or I don't know what his real fucking name is, where he sucked really bad.
Oh,
I
yeah?
caught the second episode where he absolutely killed it. So I'm just watching. Didn't know he's from here. Just said that guy's gonna win. That's fucking best version of that song I've ever heard. I think it was a weird cover rearrangement of something.
Yeah, whatever.
But BTK, love them. Peppy Rock.
Yeah.
Joy Job was great.
Joe Job was fantastic.
Sloan meant we could go drink a lot in the beer tent, which didn't have just beer. I think it had coolers as well.
Ooh, fancy.
I know. They were more expensive than the beer, which was all done tickets. And that's where we met up with more people. I think we met up with Lee.
Yeah.
I think Colin Taylor.
Did they go out?
I don't know. But we made
Anyway.
and we ran into a few more people who are escaping my memory.
Okay.
But most of them ended up coming back to our hotel afterwards.
Oh, God.
So it was even more crowded. But anyways, still enjoying the concert, covered with mud, soaked, but blind now. So I really
Yes.
can't see anything.
2 of you were blind.
2 of us are absolutely blind. Sun goes down. It gets fucking cold.
Yeah.
You know what makes something even colder?
Being wet.
Being covered with mud and wet.
Mm-hmm.
I think my body, I honestly at one point thought I was going to die. And it's not only because I'm cold and wet. It's a concert outside. We all got separated.
Awesome.
Every single one of us got separated from one another.
Excellent. Even the new people?
Yeah.
Nice.
So I'm standing there at one point by the medical tent just because there's a little bit of warm air coming out of it. Blind,
Yeah. Freezing.
frozen, can't move my arms, can't move my legs. They're that locked up from cold. Not knowing where the fuck anybody is. That was the point where I thought I might die. I thankfully was able to bum some smokes from somebody
Excellent.
to keep me alive.
Yeah.
But I mean, at that point it's just like, well, I got to go wander around because eventually I'm going to have to find people. So thankfully, I think at this point, maybe Mother Earth is on, so I don't give a shit even about listening.
Yeah.
Found Courtney and Megan.
Oh, good.
We ended up stopping looking for everyone else to listen to Moist.
Yeah.
We went wandering around the racetrack looking because we figured everyone, if you're lost from everybody, obviously no one's in the crowd anymore. Everyone's kind of fanned out to the outside where they can kind of see more people.
Yep.
Which is exactly where we found Jeff. I think Jeff was standing there with Lee. And he's frozen fucking solid, barely moving. He looks angry. He's so cold that he's angry. And
Nice.
I mean, we all really are at this point. But thankfully, they had first time I'd ever seen. You know, you pretty much go to every pizza place now, and they have the quick ovens where it's just a little tiny oven
Conveyor belt. Yeah.
Well, they had one of those at this place that was doing up slices and stuff,
Oh, yeah.
and they'd give it to you in cardboard. So everyone was making piles of the cardboard boxes and lighting them on fire on the racetrack. They kept coming and putting them out. So you get more and keep relighting. Because, I mean, everyone's fucking frozen.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it rained all day, and everyone, even the people who weren't in the mud, are wet from the rain.
Mm-hmm. And freezing.
And the other half of us are covered in mud and freezing. And, well, me and Jeff are blind.
Yeah.
So.
Sounds like an awesome time.
Oh, dude, it was so rough. It was just, it was unbelievable, the suckiness of what this was. And then we watched Our Lady Peace perform, which was only the second or third time I'd seen them, so I'm not horribly bored by them yet.
Mm-hmm.
But we're in the crowd because we've kind of found everyone. So it's warmer in there.
Yep.
So it was a little bit better. Now it's time to go back to the hotel. Concert's over. We're all frozen. It's a long fucking walk out from this racetrack to where the cars are parked out by the road and stuff. Mm-hmm. We get to the car. The four of us or five of us still. Craig's not wet, but the rest of us have to strip down to our underwear because we can't get in the car
with the mud.
I mean, it's just
Jeff's newish car.
New car. I mean, it would just be ridiculous. So we're all piled in there. Plus, there's extra people in the car too.
Yep.
I don't know where these people came from, and I can't remember who's. Like, Lee is one of them, and there's other people too. So there's more than the five of us in the Civic now.
Yep.
Like,
which at best seats five.
I know. Someone's on someone's lap in the front seat. Courtney or Megan is on my lap in the back seat. But it's fucking ridiculous. Like, we're muddy, cold. We just miserable at this point. So we get back to the hotel. Now, of course, the four of us covered in mud and freezing each want to take a bath.
Yep.
Not a shower. We need a bath.
Mm-hmm.
So the first person goes in, fills up the tub, gets in, washes off, warms up a little, empties the tub. After each person, I'm telling you, we are cleaning about an inch of mud out of the bottom of the tub before the next person can fill the tub.
That's gross.
Like, we are that caked in mud.
Yeah, I can see it.
And then we have a packed room full of people. So, excellent concert. Started off excellent. Ended so shit. I was so, like, I mean, that is the closest
It almost seems like the trials and tribulations make the concert not worth it. But
you kind of,
and that's because I wasn't there, so I'm looking at it a little more subjectively than somebody who was there.
You are, because, I mean,
I'm sure if I had been there, I would have been an idiot in the mud as well.
Oh, of course you would have. Of course you would have. Because it's just, it's late 90s. That's kind of what you did.
Yeah.
I mean, we've all seen Woodstock and Nine Inch Nails getting covered with mud. Or Trent Reznor.
Or I even think it's kind of a famous scene where Billy Joe from Green Day is playing his guitar and somebody throws mud right at his pickups.
Yeah.
During When I Come Around, I believe.
Yep. So, I mean, it was a concert experience.
Yeah.
Would I do it again? Fuck no.
No. If you knew what was going to happen.
If I knew what was going to happen, I would not do it. Just like when it was raining when I went to Kiss a couple of years ago outside. I didn't go sliding through the fucking mud.
Well, no, you're in your 30s.
But I wore a poncho, like one of those those clear dollar store ponchos. But that was a concert.
You're responsible now.
Well, no, I mean, that thing came off quick because it was so humid that day. You could just see the fog.
I can't wear raincoats. As soon as I put one on, within 5 minutes, I am dying of heat.
Oh, I was too. It came off real quick. It was better to be wet because it was so packed on the commons.
Yeah.
That it was hot. So. But yeah, I mean, it was a concert experience I wouldn't want to take away, but I wouldn't want to do it again.
Yeah.
I mean, and most of me done relatively sober. I mean, I had a few beer at the beer tent, but I mean, you can't. How many beer can you honestly afford at a beer tent at a concert when you're like even in your early 20s?
Even in the 90s, that was probably $6 a beer.
Oh, probably close to it. I think we borrowed money from people to drink beer.
Nice.
Because we dropped it all because 2 nights in a hotel, we all had to chip in for the second night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense.
Otherwise, I think maybe the original plan was to drive back that night. But,
oh yeah. No.
But early 20s, that's the kind of stupid thing you think of, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because Moncton's not really that far.
See, now the smart money would have been, if it was just the original 5, would have been to steal a hotel blanket for those not driving and make Craig drive.
Craig did drive.
Did he?
Craig drove. Well, he had to.
Oh, Jeff had no glasses.
Jeff and I couldn't see anything.
Right.
And we couldn't see anything until we got home. Like,
Yeah.
I don't even know how many days I spent blind until I could buy another pair of glasses once I got home.
Yeah.
I probably had to borrow money from someone for that. But that was the back in the day when we all had no responsibility and all had tons of disposable income.
Yeah. Well, I didn't have
You didn't have as much.
because my parents were out of the country at the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I know what you're saying.
Like, we used to throw cash around like...
Whatever.
Not even,
At a lot of booze. We threw it at a lot
we
of
did.
booze.
We were like rappers at a strip club, really.
Yeah.
We were making it rain all the time.
Yep.
So that's it for that story. The Moncton story is actually going to go in reverse chronological order because that's the most recent Moncton adventure by either of us. The next one is the middle one,
Yep. And
which
then
takes place at the lovely Hotel de Moncton
Hotel Moncton. Yep.
and at a car show.
Yep.
That's our little intrigue. Like, what the fuck are they doing at a car show? Well, what the fuck were we doing at a car
What
show?
the fuck were we doing?
We did
there?
lots of things at a car show. And in the evening, and then at a car show again the next day.
Yep.
And then we end off this trilogy of Moncton in 2 weeks with the stories of Crystal Palace.
Which will probably take the
Entire episode. I
Entire
think
episode.
next week will be entirely the car
could be
show
at
as
least
well.
half, yeah. I would say for sure. Could be the whole thing though.
I'm pretty sure it's going to be the full
Yeah.
thing. So
If we-
these are our Moncton adventures.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully we're going to have a special guest with us for the
Yep.
next two
Yep.
because he's very heavily involved. So we'd like to get a
He
third
also
opinion.
tells the one that's gonna be number 3 quite well.
He does because there's parts of the third one that I'm not there the first night,
Yep.
and you
And there's parts where he couldn't see, but I could, but couldn't.
speak.
I couldn't. No, I couldn't move. Like I couldn't walk.
I thought there was
properly.
one of you that could see and not speak, and the other one could speak and not see.
No, we could both speak, but I couldn't get on my feet.
Yeah, there's lots of drugs and alcohol involved in the next two stories. Oh no, it's just the final one.
Yeah, no, it's mostly booze in the second story.
Oh, it's all
booze in
yeah.
the second story.
Oh, that is the next story involves the second drunkest I've ever been in my entire life.
Yeah.
But at the time it happened, it was the drunkest I'd ever been in my entire
Absolutely.
life. That was a rough night.
Yep.
All right. You got anything else there, Big Papa?
I do. I want to mention a couple of things. Number one, I said it earlier. I said Bieber's a jackass.
Do you want to rant about the CFL having him at the halftime show for the
No,
Grey Cup?
because that was just effing retarded.
Why'd you say effing?
I don't know, but it was. One of the guys on the radio that I listened to today devoted like at least half an hour to 45 minutes just on how stupid it was to have Bieber at the halftime show.
Well, it makes no sense. It just shows that whoever organizes the Grey Cup, I mean, you can't
He's
think
an idiot.
You can't think that's a good idea.
No.
I'm surprised they didn't boo him out of the place.
Now one caller that called in made perfect sense. He said you can't have the Guess Who or Tragically Hip or BTO every year.
It doesn't have to be a Canadian band every year.
It doesn't have to be Canadian, but it's a football game. It's mostly adult males drinking beer.
But you could say the same thing about the Super Bowl halftime show.
It's true.
Because it's only once every 5 years we get bands
But I
we
think
want to
there's
see.
more wives and girlfriends being forced to watch the Super Bowl than there is the Grey Cup.
Probably.
So,
Well, we don't do a Grey Cup tradition like we do the Super Bowl tradition.
no, and I watched it. I watched the
Oh,
Grey
I
Cup.
watched.
I watched most of it. I mean,
I
when
turned
was,
it on after the San Francisco game was over.
That was a good game. It
was a good game.
man.
I totally thought the Saints were going to drive down at the and make a long play. I
Yeah.
mean, it wouldn't have won the game, but it would have fucked the point spread.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know how to feel about that too. Like Smith Kaepernick, that whole. But anyway, back to Bieber's a jackass. I know he's super famous. He's one of the biggest celebrities on the planet right now.
Yep.
Show some fucking respect for the Prime Minister. I don't like the guy, but I'm going to shave and put a suit on if I'm getting to meet Stephen Harper. I don't care what kind of celebrity you are. He showed up in overalls with one strap undone.
What is it, the 80s or early 90s?
And your hat on backwards.
Was it up high like Belle Biv DeVoe?
Yes.
Like Belle Biv DeVoe?
Yes. Google the picture. Actually,
I'm not going to Google the picture because I'm not going to type Justin Bieber's name into my computer ever.
I can't open it because I can't get on your internet. Anyway, doesn't matter. So I just thought that was really stupid, really pissed me off. I mean, like I say, I'm no fan of Harper. I used to be a conservative fan, but I think it was before the reform.
Well, when it was
actually the PCs.
When it was actually the PCs.
Versus the reform in disguise.
Yeah.
So I thought, wow, what an idiot. And secondly, I just want to ask, have we seen a kinder and gentler yet spiteful China?
What?
Have you heard about The Road?
No? I don't know what we're talking about.
Okay, so in China...
Inform me, sir. Enlighten me.
Well, first of all, I'm going to hand you a picture.
All right.
Nobody else can see it.
I can see it. Oh, no, I've seen the picture.
Right?
Yeah.
So, in China, they wanted to build a road. Big highway by the looks of it. Probably it looks like a 6 to 8 laner maybe. And it, of course, required some house removal. And one old guy and his family refused to move because the money being offered to relocate wasn't enough, I believe, is one of his main reasons. So China paved around his house.
Yep.
They demolished. I mean, you can look.
There's nothing for miles.
You can look at the side of his house and tell where it was attached to other houses. And it's surrounded by pavement. And there's pictures of cars driving by it. Now, it's hilarious to me that you're not going to move? Fuck yeah. We're just going to build around you. We don't give a shit. But wouldn't you think 20 years ago, we never even would have heard this story, number one. That guy would have been instantly off to some Chinese gulag and his kids and wife probably killed.
And shamed.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's hilarious. I think
you'd never get away with that here.
The guy's an idiot. No, you'd be booted. You'd be taken to court. You'd be sued.
They just wouldn't be allowed to do it. I think that's brilliant that they could do it.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe that's what communism does. It means that the government gets shit done.
Can you imagine?
That highway here, we'd still be waiting for it to get made because they don't want to move.
Yeah, exactly.
China just went around it.
Our highway, if there was that family there, we'd be waiting till they died. Just like when a big corporation wants a piece of land, like Sobeys in Fall River, for example,
yep.
You have to wait till the last person that owns the property dies. Yeah. So, anyway, I think it was hilarious. But that's all we got. Just those two stories. Bieber's an asshole, and China's kinder and gentler.
And we're still in the middle of a hockey lockout, which blows.
Day 72. There's been a bit of progress. I don't know if you heard.
I didn't. I actually did not watch SportsCenter this morning.
Okay. I don't even know if this happened while SportsCenter was on this morning. I think this happened later today. It's progress, but it's really stupid progress.
Is it them on the make whole thing, or
no? They've agreed to allow mediators.
That's a big thing,
but it's not binding.
No. It was never supposed to be binding. It was the mediators are there just to keep them talking
and make suggestions
and keep it focused. Kind of like think at the beginning, Wedding Crashers. Isn't that what Vince Vaughn and Owen Wilson do? They're mediators in divorces. So they just kind of keep suggesting things. And
I've only ever seen that on TV.
That's a terrible way to watch that movie.
Yeah, so I didn't watch much of it.
All right, well, that's us for this week. And you can follow us on Twitter at FairlyOddCast.
And on Facebook at facebook.com/FairlyOddCast.
We love you all. Good night.
Good night.